Hey everyone, it's Holyman and welcome to another video game review. This time I'm going to be reviewing the visual novel from Toge Productions, Coffee Talk. The game takes place in a fictional Seattle where mythical beasts sort of walk around and everybody interacts with each other. And you are a barista in Seattle and you run a coffee shop that only opens at night. And the whole game is basically you serving up coffee to customers and listening to them talk. The small cast of characters that come into your coffee shop are your regulars, and this is where one of the strengths of the game lies, is the characters themselves. They're pretty memorable. Each of them has a unique trait about them, and it's just fun to hear them and let their own personal stories develop. One of my favorites is seems to be everyone else's favorite, which is an alien who doesn't understand human customs, and he just comes in and has his own mission. It's fun to interact with him, and as I said, it's a small cast, but they're all pretty charming. And the other thing about the setting, too, which I mentioned earlier, is that it's not just humans. Like, there's vampires, there's werewolves, there's succubi. It's a very wide range of characters that can come in. And at first, I actually wasn't really digging the setting. I kind of didn't understand the need to do this, but it grew on me over time, and I think the setting works for what they wanted to do. One of the ways in which they use the setting is to try and commentate on social issues or just stuff that's going on in the world today. And while I don't have a problem with that, and some of it is actually handled pretty well, a lot of times the writing can be a bit heavy handed, and it does take the game down just a little bit, but the characters are charming enough and the overall story is good enough that I don't think it gets in the way too much. One of the things that also really helps the setting is its visuals. It's not the prettiest game I've ever seen. Like, the sprite work is pretty serviceable, but the overall aesthetic is good enough that the characters sort of pop and you remember who they are. And it also helps that the whole game just takes place in your coffee shop. So they had a lot of time to really develop the characters and how they look. So it's actually really cool. I really enjoyed it. One thing that also helps is the music. It's very lo-fi music, and I actually really enjoyed it. There's not a whole lot of music tracks, but they're all really good, and you can actually go into your cell phone and select which tracks you want at any time. And I actually, like I said, I actually really like that. One of the main things that you also do in the game is, since you're a barista at a coffee shop, of course you're going to be making coffee. And the whole system is pretty basic. You have a base, and then you have a primary and secondary that you can add. The game does thankfully start you off slow with just a few ingredients, but as you go on, you get more and more, and different combinations give you different results. And it's, like I said, it's pretty basic, but it can be pretty fun also to figure out what combinations go with what. You only get 5 retries, basically. You can, like, in a night, you can only dump 5 coffees or whatever to make a new one. So there is a little bit of challenge in that. And there's also a wide variety of things. It's not just coffee. You can also make hot chocolate. You can make regular tea, green tea. And you also have a lot of different spices and stuff. Like, you have ginger, you have lemon eventually. I think there's turmeric. I don't know. It's actually been a while since I've played. I don't remember all the ingredients. But you get the idea. It's actually kind of fun to, mix and match, see what you can do. You can also make latte art. I'm terrible at it, but you can do it. There is a trophy for spending at least 1 hour just making latte art, like, total. I'm not going to do it. Like I said, I am horrible at it. I could never get it right. But there's only one time, and it's like in the first chapter where somebody specifically asks for latte art. It's completely optional. And yeah, that's basically the game. You just make coffee, you listen to people. It's very laid back. And I like it. There is a challenge mode that you can play, and I didn't get a chance to play it, but it's pretty much I'm assuming it's pretty much what you would expect, which is customers come in, they ask you, and you don't get your phone for reference, so you just have to try and make what they want. I know for the plat, you have to make 50 correct ones, so Yeah, there's that. Oh, I forgot to mention the reason you can serve the wrong thing to a customer, and I don't think it really affects anything. The only thing you get though is there is like a Facebook app for everybody that you meet, and if you serve the right cup, you get a little bit more information about them. So that is your incentive for trying to get it right. But, there's really not a whole lot of pressure to make it right. So that's basically the challenge. And yeah, the main draw for the game is the story. Of course, it is a visual novel, and it took me about 5 hours. Um, I think that's about right. I haven't played the challenge mode, but I assume it's gonna add a little bit more. And yeah, that's basically it for my review. So now I'll get on to my final thoughts. Coffee Talk is a good game. It has some pretty good characters, and its story is good. It's not great. And there is some good music, but overall, it's a pretty unique experience. If you like visual novels, I would recommend it. This is kind of one of those games where you look at it and you kind of know if you're going to like it or not. But I will say the game is pretty cheap. It was only $13 if I remember right. So if you want to give it a shot, I would recommend giving it a shot. But yeah, overall, I would say it's a good time. Definitely not something you should rush to play, but if you want to play it, I would say go for it. And with that, that is the end of this review. So if you liked what you've seen, you can go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel for more game reviews, gameplay, let's plays, and all that good gaming stuff. I forgot my dang YouTube outro again. Sorry. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.